Sure, the Baviance journey is an interesting one. I'd actually never been here before I started working for Living Lands. I'm originally from the Eastern Cape. I grew up in Addo and I knew of it, but it was one of those you saw signs for the turnoff and you never drove through it, right? I think driving into the Baviance was actually what gripped me, what got me to want to work here. I mean, the bush and hunting and game is always in my blood, but the wilderness factor that the Baviance offers is just amazing. I was fortunate enough to see the expanse of wilderness. That's something. I mean, most people see the decline of it. They see the decline of natural resource. For me, growing up, when I started going to school, it was just cattle farms. By the time I matriculated, it was all game and ranching, and you could actually drive right on a dirt road all the way to school and see elephant, see rhino, see introduced species, and it was great. So for me, the wildlife ranching component, of which hunting plays a huge role, it was obvious that it was one of the greatest land uses for conservation in South Africa. And I wanted to try and get into that space, and at the same time realize there was a massive gap between that, what was happening on the ground, and what conservation was saying. So I decided I needed to get my academic skills better and not just criticize. And I ended up doing a master's focusing on community-based natural resource management. And I think that's what had a massive bridge with Living Lands and the conservation work that they were doing with people on the ground, and not just focusing on sort of the old-fashioned fortress conservation or protectionism. It was looking at how to have functioning agricultural areas, functioning landscapes on the border of parks, on the border of protected areas, and how could we get those mosaic landscapes work. So what does Living Lands actually offer? Well, at this stage, it's conservancy management for the Baviance Kloof particularly. In other areas, it's different. Other areas bring a lot of knowledge, bring a lot of expertise and funding in, bring a lot of project development. Yeah, it's more on facilitating conservancy. It's a lot of behind-the-scenes administration, a lot of organizing meetings, being present at meetings, representing, being on platforms, and it's a thankless job, that really, because no one really sees it. Do a lot of rehab work as well. The reality is, rehabilitation work doesn't grow the economy. We've identified Sarah Bartman as a district that's really in need of some work. Eastern Cape is lagging behind a bit. Not just with water security, but your conservation initiatives as well. Even the mega herbivore stuff. The protected area expansion is a bit behind. So, because we've got that network and on the ground work, we're finding ourselves being pulled into various sectors of this space and trying to see what we can opportunistically do there. We don't want to be caught in one loop where you're the rehab guys or you're the farming guys. It's more trying to see, okay, what's needed on a landscape level. We've always been holistic thinkers. We've always been landscape. What does it make it work? What doesn't? What are the driving forces? And if we see certain things not working, could we intervene? Could we jump in and see if we can tweak some levers? With definitely knowing we're not going to be able to transform things ourselves as one little organization or even individuals, but really to try and see what small things can be done that could either be upscaled by those that could or catalyzed and somebody else picks up on it. But often it's just that fear of trying something, I think that holds people back. In theory it could work, but no one wants to try it. And I think we jump past the theory quite quickly and actively just do it. I think farming in general is tough. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I've met farmers all over the world and a very long supply chain, and you're right in the beginning of it. Now, for the Baviance Kloof, farming is tough because you're not only a producer, you also got to deal with everything else yourself. You're fixing your own fences, fixing your own roads, doing your own thing. It's easy enough to justify scaling out, moving into new areas because we've got a bit of a track record. It's very tempting. It means you can start fresh. You can almost go, okay, well, let's leave the problems behind and let's try it new. Strategically, we've said we don't want to do it that way. We want to knuckle down and deal with the challenges that we have, and there's great lessons there. So the only way we're really going to implement those lessons is if we try them again and succeed, right? Both landscapes that we work in, the Lang Kloof and Baviance Kloof, we've got a nice, solid social capital that has actually failed with us, that have come through some of these things and able to rise above it and to try again and do it. So we feel a great responsibility to the areas that we've come from. Hopefully Living Lands offers some sort of assistance, whether even if it just be administration. And I would like to think that Living Lands can continue to do that indefinitely. I think the strategy is to get projects elsewhere to be able to fund the work that we can also stay here. Me personally, I'm in this for the long run.